All right, Bloody Bugger says, is Yasir Shah really the last classic leg spinner to play a decent number of tests? Someone who gets lots of spin but has less speed and variation. I'll never forget his 10 for at Lords. Well, I mean, at the moment he is. We talked about
Mm,
Rashid Khan is still playing test matches.
yeah.
I, the whole classic leg spinner, I'm not, I mean, I don't know what a classic leg spinner is.
Mm,
I think Yasir Shah did actually have variations. So, if you
yeah.
mean a pure leg spinner just to spin the ball, yeah, I mean Bishu was before him by a fair bit, wasn't he? And then obviously
Yeah.
Parkinson's played one test
Yeah.
in that time. I don't think it's the end of leg spinners, and I do think there is a different kind of leg spinner that might come through in Test cricket in the future. But yeah, I think that's a fairly decent claim at the moment.
I mean, the last classic leg spinner I remember, I mean, the most classical sense is Amit Mishra. Just his approach to the crease and just the way he worked on his leg spin. I mean, he had the googly, but he backed his leg break a lot, which is what a lot of classical leg spinners used to do in the past. If you read about them or see clips, so they started with the leg break and everything else fell into place. I mean, starting with the great Shane Warne. Um, uh, the one guy I have been impressed with a lot during this IPL, and he is kind of classical in the way he goes about his leg spin. Though I would love to see him in long form cricket. Is Suyash Sharma, the kid who plays for KKR. Love the
Mm-hmm.
hair, of course, to
Yeah.
start with, but I like his approach to leg spin, and he's got that innocence about him as well, which I kind of leg spinners need to have a strong personality either way, right? Like you can be like Shane Warne or whoever. But I think I like what he brings. He doesn't like being hit. He has that way of getting back at batters who just hit him for a six and
Mm-hmm.
getting them out. But to back to Bloody Bugger's question, I do think that he is more classical than a lot of leg spinners that we do get to see these days, because a lot of them do. Ish Sodhi, for example, you see Ish Sodhi from, say, the first time I saw him 6 7 years ago. He looked oh no, in fact 10 years ago, when he was part of New Zealand A. They played a series against India A in I think Vishakhapatnam, and he looked so much more traditional, so much more classical than what he is now. Now he's been out there openly spoken about how he's remodeled himself as sort of being close to Rashid Khan, because that works in T20 cricket, and he's been very successful. And what, he got a test return, didn't he, in Pakistan
He
a
did.
few months ago? So that's worked out for him. So we won't see the classical Ish Sodhi anymore. So
I
I
don't know
think,
if I'd
yeah, there
call.
aren't.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if I'd call this other guy classical, but Brandon
Mm,
Mavuta from Zimbabwe is
right.
certainly a leg spinner to watch. I think he's played 5 tests so far. He's
Mm,
taken a couple of wickets. I think he averages high 20s in first class
right.
cricket. I first saw him play years ago in T20 cricket in South Africa and thought
No.
he was a pretty good talent. He's kind of an all rounder, although I'm not sure he's batting. He's more of a slugger than an all rounder. But hey, so am I, so I can't really complain there. But I think from that perspective, he's one to watch going into the future. And obviously, I don't think England will go back to Parkinson. But Parkinson is, a very, certainly, if that's what if you're talking about someone without a wrong un,
Yeah.
then Parkinson is, the modern day Bishu.